initiate recording, so you later are going also to be able to watch that again. So my name is Marcin Kubacki. I'm Chief Software Architect from Storware, and with me there is Zbigniew Parys, Solution Architect from Red Hat. Today we are going to talk about virtualization. And yes, we all know that containers are rather much hotter topic related to application deployment and IT infrastructure in general.
Indeed. Everybody now asking about container, like more than 10 years ago, asking about virtualization.
There is still, well, some application may still require to be deployed on a physical box or maybe virtual machine. Well, obviously, virtual machine is a better option. It gives much more flexibility.
That's right. That's right. This abstract layer gives you ability to achieve better utilization of your hardware resources.
Well, one of the virtualization options available is oVirt. It gives you most of the features that you need to run virtualization per se, and it is free actually. This is first webinar about oVirt. We are just briefly introducing main ideas of this solution. Don't worry, there are coming more webinars related to this topic, where we actually are going to have more deep dive concepts presented. So Zbigniew, please give us a short intro what oVirt actually is.
In fact, oVirt is an engine to manage virtualization host using KVM as a virtualization mechanism. Linux KVM technology is implemented in kernel on February 4th, 1907. So we now have 12th anniversary of this solution. Through this time, technology was proved stability, scalability, and reliability for many types of workloads. As an open source, it's used in many virtualization solutions, and one of this is oVirt. Generally, concept based on idea to have engine to manage compute host. Of course, when you have maintenance or other reason, which is manager is not available, then all your virtual resources were still up and running. You just temporarily don't have to ability to change anything.
Okay, so can you give us an idea what are main concepts of the oVirt solution?
Yes. Internally, oVirt is written in Java, have built in application server, Whitefly. All important information is stored in PostgreSQL database. Provide many types of access. For example, CLI, REST API, SDK from custom app, like for example, backup solution. And of course, have web portal for the administrator and users. As you see, there is a oVirt have built-in secure database, but you can connect, for example, to Active Directory solution, which is provide external authorization. Every node, every compute node are Linux server, which provides daemon VDSM, which give ability to connect between KVM process on this hypervisor and engine on oVirt machine.
Okay, so and what if I need to run it in production and need support?
Good question. You can use oVirt in production because, as I mentioned, it's a very stable product. But of course, when you need to have support, certification, security team, tested solution, then Red Hat provides you a solution called Red Hat Virtualization.
Okay, so technically it's oVirt, but with some subscription. And
exactly.
I want to set up oVirt. What should I do and what are main requirements for such installation?
There is not a lot of requirements to set up basic environment. You need have a server. You need have some storage, for example, local disk or disk arrays, etc. Compatibility list for the hardware is the same like for like CentOS or RHEL Linux. There is a very huge database of compatibility components for your solution. Implementation process is very, very easy. You need to download small ISO, start your server from this ISO, and you got graphical tool which is guide you through the installation process. You need just answer few questions, and after click button deploy, the process was starting automatically.
Okay, so recently I heard that oVirt 4.3 has been released. So let's show us how the oVirt UI looks like.
Okay. Well, as you see, the interface is very aesthetic. There is, of course, have all of resources on which is need to have to do. For example, there is a special section which you need to download tools to access to the virtual console of your server. Let's very shortly describe administration portal. The administration portal is pure HTML solution, now HTML version 5. There is no need to put additional plugins, for example, I don't know, Flash plugin, etc. As you see, portal is very easy to understand. Now I shortly describe key menu in the oVirt manager. First is compute. In compute menu, you need find information about virtual machine, about templates, about logical divide your environment, for example, to the cluster, to the data center. Of course, in this menu, you need have access to your virtualization host. Network menu provide information about how which network you have configured, which network is used, for example, to migrate, which network is using to access to your, for example, disk protocols, storage. Storage provide information about disk, about cluster volumes, about domains. It's mean, for domain, I mean the place where we put every disk or virtual machine.
Okay, so from admin perspective, how to perform common day-to-day tasks such as VM creation, migration, snapshotting. So maybe let's start with something simple to show people to understand how to click and play with oVirt after installation.
So we start, for example, to build new virtual machine from template. On the menu virtual machine, you need click button new. There is two type of interface, which is this one, and of course we sometimes using advanced option, which is provide more flexibility to build your virtual machine. So we switch back to the light interface. Then we need to build new machine, VM, for example. That's all. From template. Oh, my mistake. I didn't choose proper template, of course.
Okay, so templating basically allows you to quickly create a new VM from standardized, with standardized settings.
Yes,
okay?
Yes.
So obviously, if you could just show details, what typical VM, what kind of settings VM can have?
Generally, you have, for example, customize how many CPU would this VM have, how many network interface this VM have, how many disk and how large disk this VM need to have, etc., etc. there is a very many options to configure. For example, type of network interface, speed of network interface, type of disk interface. Oh, as we see, our virtual machine is created.
Let's
So
access it.
yes, of course. So now we can run this machine. Of course, because there is a virtual console, we can connect to this machine during the boot process. For example, to be sure that every of demos, every of part of starting was successfully. Okay, we need new machine. We can connect to the console and
Question. So I have
Yes.
actually accessed console. What are possible, well, say protocols? What are available protocols for accessing such console?
There is a graphical console. We have choose two protocols to access. One is Spice, which is built-in oVirt solution as a virtual desktop interface, and second is
VNC, I believe, right?
yes, exactly, VNC. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe let's migrate this VM.
Mm-hmm. Okay, to be sure that everything works, I, for example, put some administration task. Okay, everybody works. Common task, for example, I need to migrate to other host to maintenance reason. Our machine start on node 1. There is a fancy menu which we see every of our task. For example, this task was divided by two phases. One is validating to possibility to migrate, and second is just migrate. Okay, now our virtual machine
Actually,
was situated on node 2.
important thing to note here is that that was live migration, so
Of course.
it works smoothly. We didn't have any downtime, and the machines.
Yes. As you see, we still connected to the interface, and we see that there is no any breathing during this process.
Okay, and what about snapshotting?
It's easy to. You have button, create snapshot. You can describe the snapshot, and you just put OK option.
Okay, what can I?
After a few seconds, yes, I can show you this. Here you are. Snapshot is still creating.
Is it flat history of snapshots, or can we have sort of tree-like structure?
There is tree. There is the tree structure to be sure that every, how to say, chains was correctly put in this tree. Okay, now we have snapshot of this virtual machine. From the snapshot, we can make template, clone as an independent virtual machine, etc.
Perfect. Okay, guys, I believe that that was very short introduction, but now it's time for the more, let's say, important part for you. So maybe Q&A. So maybe you would like to know where to download images, how to get started, etc. You can unmute yourself because currently everyone is muted. So just press mic and try to speak. Okay, maybe in the meantime, questions, Zbyszek. How
Yes,
about clustering? So I believe that oVirt provides a highly available platform for us, right?
of course.
So
There
what?
is the same solution like in other virtualization solution. You can put checkbox called, I show you where is this option is in the UI. In the menu virtual machine, you can edit virtual machine, and in advanced option, you have high availability option where it's already checked. What it means? It's mean when the node on which this virtual machine is put will going down. For example, I don't know, power supply or other resources was going down. This virtual machine automatically will be restarted or other node.
Okay, and what about storage that you probably would like to use? So disk array, it's one of the options, but
Yes. Oh, there is a many option to connect storage. By default, we may using fiber channel connection, iSCSI connection, and a FS connection. Of course, we can using Gluster FS, we can using CFFS, etc.
okay, so Gluster, you mean that technically I can install oVirt just on the few bunch of servers without disk array. Am I correct?
Yes, there
So
is two options to using Gluster FS. First is have separate cluster Gluster FS, or we can using disk which is provided by nodes. This is approach to hyperconverged infrastructure. We have question about power management. Yes, the question is yes. The answer for this question is yes. The power
Zbyszek, just
management option need be proper configuration to be sure that node which provide this virtual machine process is completely destroyed to avoid the problem starting machine on two nodes in the same time. Question about S3 protocol. No, at this moment we cannot use S3 protocol.
I believe the answer is because it's not going to work like random access storage, right?
Exactly.
It's object storage in this case. So it's rather a simple put, get, and it doesn't really work for virtual machines per se.
Yes, we need similar to block access disk to properly run virtual machine.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what about, well, maybe replication options? What do we have?
Replication option is depend of type of storage which you have.
Okay, so
If you have storage array which have this compatibility, then you, for example, build active solution with the storage solution.
Can I use maybe other options to extend like software-defined networking together with oVirt?
Yes, the oVirt have built-in compatibility called OVN, Open Virtualization Network, which is technically built on own controller and Open vSwitch solution as a network device.
There is additional comment from Hanif. Power management is for I/O, iDRAC, Imana.
Yes, we have many options to configure. It's depend of type of your server. There is a list of supported out-of-box type of management devices. If you have, for example, SSH access only on this on your management card, then you may put this option, etc., etc. Of course, the common like IPMI. Oh, there is a common IPMI interface to the power management device of server.
Mm-hmm. Is there any alerts that can be configured for virtual machine or host? Muhammad Kamil Azmer.
It's a tricky question because out of box, oVirt provide many information about virtual machine, but doesn't have interface to automatically put this information out of our database. There is other solution to do this.
Okay, but later, obviously, well, still I can send alerts to external systems somehow, right?
Yes. For example,
Okay.
you can connect oVirt or Ref to the CloudForms manager, which provide very better solution to get information from this environment and put some kind of automatization of this process.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, let's wait for other questions. I believe that oVirt provides API, right? As you mentioned already on your slide. So CloudForms integrate easily with this. Okay, again, we see the question for S3. No, S3 cannot be used as the storage. S3 is object storage. And
Is oVirt manager mandatory required? We can use oVirt engine standalone. Yes and no. Generally, oVirt is manager. Then we can deploy, for example, single host installation, which have built-in manager and compute node on the same hardware.
So if the node with the manager fails, it's going to be moved to other host?
Yes. We still have only one host. There is a solution for very, very small environments.
Okay. So minimum requirement for compute for standalone.
There is no formal requirements. You need some processor which have compatibility with virtualization. You need some storage, for example, local disk. You need some network card, and that's all. Informally, you need only reserve memory and a little bit of space for manager. As I remember, they start from 8 gigabytes of memory. Then there is not a big requirements for do this.
So for setting up home lab, I believe that everyone can have sort of such resources, right?
How about compute required for oVirt to be used, such as RAM?
Okay.
Well, you can start for, I don't know, 60 gigabits to, I don't know, 1.5 terabyte of RAM. For starting of your host, for starting of your engine on this host. Yes, as I remember, there is 8 gigabytes of RAM.
But still you need some space for VMs running. So
of course.
So still 8 gigs, it's maybe not.
It's not enough.
Not enough
to comfortable using this solution.
Do you know if oVirt will provide a more abstract file system model to support more than GlusterFS in the future?
At this moment, you can connect GlusterFS in 2 ways. First is iSCSI, and second is Gluster FS Fuse plugin. There is an option to build or connect your Gluster FS to the oVirt manager.
Question for you guys, actually. Does somebody here already uses oVirt or intends to use it in maybe production environment or maybe even dev environment in your own company here? So if you could maybe write in the chat. Okay, we see somebody's using it already for production. Because we believe that technically, oVirt as an open platform, should easily fit into even enterprise-grade solutions, right? So yeah, another production development environment I see here, and maybe it is going to be used for production. Okay, another one. Okay, guys, any more questions? Okay, Maxta is being mentioned here. Maxta actually was had a good mechanism for snapshotting and actually performed very, very good.
Yes, it is. It provides own storage solution, but as we see, there is a problem with financial of this for this company. Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, another oVirt in production. Already 3 of them.
Free cluster or version free?
No, I believe that there are 3 clusters. Okay, guys, I believe that if you have any more questions, you can just drop us email later, find us on the LinkedIn. So to sum up, if you are considering virtual infrastructure, I believe that all of you are sort of interested in the oVirt platform. Maybe you should just look into if you are not doing it yet. This platform technically should give all the features that you need for day-to-day for running highly available workloads, manage them like on every other platform. And if you need to support, you can always use Red Hat subscription. So that's everything for today. In upcoming videos, we'll present more deep dive aspects of the oVirt solution, so stay tuned.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, so thank you and see you then. Bye.
Bye.